Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon, here on Shamblecraft Season 2. So last episode we went and did a little bit of terraforming in the massive cave aquifer that is all around me, and we added in quite a few extinct animals. You can see some of them from here. Got our plesiosaur over there. And we have a bunch more scattered about in the lake. Well, yeah, I guess this is technically a lake. But today we are going to be heading out of the water and into the massive cave that is below. So if we come down here, we can see we've got this absolutely massive area. Probably won't go through all of this, but we'll probably do stuff in a good chunk of it. So I have been going and kind of smoothing out the terrain a little bit so we have space to work. And I've been blocking off some of the caves that just don't exactly fit with the contours of this. So there used to be kind of a ravine right through here, and that is now replaced with this nice smooth floor. And we've kind of blocked off a few other passageways as well. But what we need to do is we need to get a whole lot of moss down here to replace a bunch of this stone, because I'm gonna turn this into kind of a Lost World feel, which means we need grass, or in this case moss, because we're in a nice mesa, which means that all of our grass is this lovely shade of brown. And I don't particularly care for that, and I want this to be kind of lush. So we need to pretty much replace all of the stone down here with moss, replace some of the moss back with stone to kind of make it seem like it's more overgrown and less just moss. And then replace some of the moss as well with podzol and a bit of coarse dirt. So I'm going to get to work on that. Then I'll be back once we're actually ready to start putting some stuff in here. All right. We now have the entire bottom of that cave mossed. Gotten most of the walls of the cave redone, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. I'm not really used to doing the walls. As you can see, we still have this one over here that I'm still figuring out. But this one's a huge wall, and well, I kind of wanted to work on something else because, yeah, this is a huge area. Fortunately, this is meaning that we don't have to go and do stuff way down there, which would have been a pain. I really don't fancy trying to terraform around the mine shaft, so instead we're going to block it off and ignore it. But this area right here, even just looking at it from here with just the moss, it already kind of feels kind of lush and lost, and I am quite happy with that. Now, I still need to do all the texturing, but that's not going to happen right now, and I need to hide all of those torches that you can see down there under some carpets, because I cannot stand seeing a lot of torches, which is why I try and work in and hide lighting into everything I design. I think first we are going to get in some of the animals because, well, they're the biggest things that are going to go in here, and once we get them in, we can kind of see where everything else needs to go. We can put in the trees around them so that they look like they're within the trees, and also that way we don't have to tear down trees because they're in the way of the animals. And it's just nicer to not have to do that because trees can take a bit to put in. And we got a skeleton fall down there from somewhere, but I am very happy with how everything has turned out. So let's get down our working shulkers. We have this one here that's full of stone and other assorted goodies, just because that allows us to work on that wall more when we feel like doing it, which is not now. Definitely not now. I've been working on that wall for about 3 or 4 hours. I'm sick of it right now. Anyway, but we have our leaves, we have our podzol, we have our andesite for adding in most of our animals, and yeah, that's our junk chest. And we have our coarse dirt making supplies. So I think first thing that we want to do is we want to kind of mark out where these are going to be. Now I think this is our biggest flat area that we have. So I think probably be best to put our biggest animal here. So I'm thinking we can put our brachiosaur here. Because I think I'm only going to do 4 different types of animals. I'm going to do a brachiosaur because that's nice and big and it takes up a decent amount of space. And also, I absolutely love building that thing. I think we're going to do one of our small theropods, our Eoraptor. That's what it was. Or we'll do that one right here. And I think we're also going to do our Stegosaur, because I absolutely love those. I think that pattern is something like that. And we're also going to put in one of our Ankylosaurs. I think right over here is about the right spot for it. Now, we're obviously going to have more than one, so we might put in, say, another Eoraptor over here, because we've got the space for it there. Might put in, say, another Stegosaur over here. Just use this to mark it out. And we'll probably put in, I guess, an Ankylosaur in here, I think. Just do that. And other than that, I'm not quite sure. I think we might even be able to fit another Brachiosaur somewhere. But I'd have to look about where we actually have the space, because those things are big. I could probably actually fit the Titanosaur right in the center area here, but I do not relish trying to fit in a 130 block long behemoth into here, as cool as it would look. So I think I'm going to try and move in a couple of those guys, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right, so we now have all of our dinosaurs in. You may notice that we have a few more different ones than what was originally planned. Because, well, I went and looked at the space that we had and the size of the dinosaurs, and, well, there wasn't quite enough space. And all I would be able to put in would be a few more Eoraptors. And, well, I wanted to put in a few more different ones that would fit. So, instead of an additional Stegosaurus and Ankylosaur, we now have a Plateosaurus and an Archaeopteryx. And I decided to toss in a Ramphorhynchus just for fun. And I'm quite happy with how this turned out. Let's get a look from up at the waterfall area, because that's where we're going to be seeing this. Oh, that's quite nice. You can clearly see all the dinosaurs down there. That works quite well. Let's see, can we see the Ramphorhynchus from on top of the dock? Because if we can, that would be kind of cool. And I think that that would be just the right splash of color to kind of draw people down there, maybe? We can see it from the end of this dock. I do like that. What about the other one? Maybe just barely out of sight, it looks like, behind this wall right over here. Which is a little bit of a shame, but kind of what I expected. I am quite happy with that. Now, we did have to put glow lichen on their backs because it's dark, because this is a cave, and we don't want stuff spawning up there and dropping down, and etc., etc., etc. So I tried to minimize as much as I could, but I think that that looks quite nice. Now, all we have left to do is finish up this wall and put in the plants and do the floor decoration. But we're going to leave off on actually decorating more of this area for right now. I think I finally know what I want to do for this section. And it involves tearing out some of this wall. Because what I think would be best is we kind of just flatten this out. It would give a lot more build space to this cave. Someone could go put, say, a research lab or something down here, or I believe there's talk about putting in a kind of Flintstones-esque dwelling village somewhere. And I think that this might be a nice place to put it. It'd be above where all the dinosaurs are, and it kind of adds layers to the cave, which is part of why we put the Ramphorhynchus in, is because it's not on the ground. It adds layers to the life down here. So, I think I'm gonna go get this in and we'll see how this turns out. Alright, so all the stone that I had on me was not very much. Didn't get us too far, but we did get a fair distance kind of marked out here. I think we're gonna probably cut it off where that ceiling dips over there and probably go all the way around. I'm not quite sure. Still have a little bit to go. We might just bring it up to here and say that we're done. Just kind of build up. I don't quite know. But that'll be a project for later when I feel like going back and grabbing more stone or just mining out of the lower parts here. Probably just going back. We have way too much of it at the base. So that means that for now we need to get the trees in. Now, how this normally works is I basically have jungle saplings spread about. I knock out the leaves on and redo leaves, which works quite nicely. Which this should go even better because of fast leaf decay. And you can also see, once again, why I'm not doing any ferns because, yeah, this color plant, it'd be great for a kind of dead, dry cave, for a kind of lost world lush cave like this. Not gonna work, which is sad because the ferns provide a nice bit of ground cover. And they're not blocky shape. It really helps to add depth and realism and just general contours to the area. Instead, what we're going to do for ground cover is just kind of put in a couple cycads around where we need them. And those would just be jungle log with an azalea leaf. Because the azalea leaves won't change color, which makes them perfect for what we want. But anyway, for the big trees, I think we can just knock out the 4 next to the trunk and perfect. That'll be a lot easier to clean up these trees to be able to do the custom trees that I want. So, this is just going to be a matter of getting these built up, knocking out leaves, and reliefing them. So I'm going to go busily work on that. And I might also get the ground in because that's just mixing in a little bit of coarse dirt and podzol into the moss, maybe mixing in a few streaks of stone back into this. Who knows? But I'm going to go get some more details and plant terraforming in, and then I will be right back. And there we go. That is all of the ground in. We have all of the cycads, all of the trees. It took us way more than the shulker box of azalea leaves that I had to get all these in, but they are all in. Now, the only other thing I could do would be scatter some stone buttons around, which, do we have any stone? We have 2 stone. Is that really all the stone we have? Yeah, that's... Oh, nope, we have 4 more stone. We can make 6 stone buttons. Yeah, we can just scatter a couple of these around as rocks, just to add that little bit of more realism. And I like the detail that it provides to this. Maybe we'll use some of the blackstone buttons as well because why not? We also have a ton of them because I overcrafted. But I think that looks good. I'm quite happy with how all the terraforming looks. I'm less happy with how that cliff looks, but there's not much I can do about that now short of tearing it all down, and I really do not want to do that. As you can see, it's also not really terraformed either. There's a couple trees and cycads on there, but nothing too major. However, I am exhausted from doing all this. This was a lot. So I think I am going to leave that cliff as is for now until I feel like working on it again. Must be missing a torch there. Anyway, let's fly out of here to get a nice view from our little overlook that we've been using. See this whole thing from up above. Oh, that looks nice. It looks just like we cut kind of a small ancient forest. Perhaps not as dense as I might like, but there's not much else I can do about that short of just putting in more trees. And trying to fit more of them in would probably be a little difficult. But I think with that, that is going to do it for today and this whole Lost World theme that we've got. So I'm going to clean up my stuff around here. And with that, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. And I will catch you all in the next one, where we will almost certainly not be doing more terraforming on here. Probably. Anyway, Bye.